Hello guys, so here I'm back again with another Escalation Tier 10 video. This time I'm doing Coney Island Amusement Park. Let me show you my build real quick. I'm using 4-piece striker, all pieces with echo, critical hit damage, and I'm using the backpack and the chest piece. For my gloves I'm using Exodus glove because these things are great for solo play. And for my knee pads, chest and knee pads with echo and almost god roll DPS stats. For my guns I'm using double MK46, both weapons have echo, critical hit chance, and frenzy. That way I can deal with the debuff from Variety Pack. I'm also gonna be using a Ravenous as a backup strat, well, as a main strat actually, for one of the rooms. I'm also gonna be using a Quickstep, a Reviver Hype, and a Decoy, as well as the Gunner specialization. And for my seasonal modifier, I already have it maxed out, with Invincible active modifier and Munition Spell Contagion and Surge Strike passive modifiers. For my stats, here are the sources for all the critical hit chance. I have 186 at 3% critical hit damage, and I have a sum of around 203% all weapon damage plus LMG damage. Let's start with the mission. So, Coney Island Amusement Park. It's generally a pretty chill mission overall. I definitely think the weekly escalation rotation pool is gonna be a lot more forgiving than the one that we had last week, that's for sure. I definitely wanted to upload this one as soon as possible because today we have LMG targeted loot, so I thought it was a good idea to release this video as soon as possible. And yeah, overall this is a pretty chill mission, like I already said. There's around 100 enemies, or a little bit above 100 enemies, and it's a mission that once you get the hang of it, you should be able to complete it in around the 15 to 16 minute mark. Some of your first completions may be going around the 20-minute mark, but once you get the hang of it, you're gonna get these slower completion times, so it's a really good mission to farm for prototype gear in general, for targeted loot specifically. Also, this mission has 15 gear crates. To access the first two, we have to throw a grenade right over here and right in the middle of this guacamole machine. Once we get the sound effect for both of the machines, we're gonna open the door and we're gonna get box number 1 and box number 2. Remember, those gear crates always have a chance of dropping targeted prototype gear loot, and it's going to scale with your current escalation tier. So anyways, for this room, unlike the first one where we had to stay on one single spot, here we can be going between two different spots. The first one is right over here. This is my favorite spot to use, but it's also quite risky because we have to be careful with the line of sight of the enemies that are inside of the room. We have to like engage them from the enemies all the way to the right, which is always hides behind a counter, and the enemies to the left that are more exposed. And then the second place that we can use to fight the enemies is right over here. This is even more exposed, and we can get a pretty good look for both the enemies on the back and especially the grenadier guy that usually shows up after you kill like 3 or 4 enemies from the first waves. It's usually the best place where we can fight that guy and don't have to worry about getting killed. And the third spot that we can use is this red wall right over here. This is the place where we can fall back to in case there's too many enemies that are shooting at us at the same time. Just be careful with the flanks, especially from enemies that are coming from the left side as you're using that spot that I was using. And overall should be a pretty easy encounter. There's 3 guys left, and as I said, I really like the right spot. It's a pretty chill spot to hang around and kill the enemies. That should be the last one, and there you go. We'll grab all of the LMG ammo drops that the enemies drop, and we're gonna grab the third gear crate that is found on this room, and we can continue along. There's the third gear crate. And for next room, there's gonna be guaranteed at least 2 chungas that we have to fight against. So for that room, I'm gonna be using a Ravenous rifle. And because of variety pack, I am going to pretty much ignore the debuff that variety pack is going to be giving me. With that said, if it's possible, you can also try to get one single kill with the Ravenous so that you can reset the debuff from said mutator. We can do so by getting one kill with either the Ravenous, your sidearm, or your pistol. And to use the Ravenous for Chungas, we have to be shooting from the left shoulder, shoot until the bar fills up, and then we can switch shoulder to consume the blue stacks and increase our damage against armor plates, which is the special type of health that the Chungas as well as the Robo Dogs have. And also be careful with the left flank, like this jeep where I'm standing at is pretty much my favorite position to be fighting from. Already know that I have a ton of variety pack debuff, so I got one kill with the Ravenous, and that way I can reset the kill counter from said mutator. Now just be careful with the enemies that are staying. They are staying on that position over there. And the helicopter is going to drop one additional chunga. With that said, you can definitely get even a third chunga, or even a fourth for that matter in this room. So that's why I use Ravenous. Again, blue primers, and there you go. And I'm gonna get the last kill with the red primers. Now I didn't got too many dogs to show this from, but you can also shoot from the left shoulder. And once you consume the red primers for the Ravenous, that's going to deal explosive damage. That's the 4 gear crate, by the way, for in this room. So yeah, that red primers from the Ravenous is going to deal explosive damage that can bypass the armor plates from the dogs. So that's one good thing to know. Now, for the next gear crate, we are going to run towards this spot right here, and we're going to shoot the yellow box from over there. We're going to open the crate, and here we're going to find the next two gear crates. Gear crate number 5 and gear crate number 6. And then gear crate number 7 is right over here. It's a Black Tusk crate, and you're gonna need a Black Tusk key to open it. And from here, we can continue along. And right before we get through the House of Terror, we are gonna be moving towards the right. We're gonna take a little detour. And right at the end of this little hallway, we're gonna find gear crate number 8. 8 of 15. Now for this run, I'm also gonna be going for the secret boss that this mission has. Now normally I believe one of the encounters has Black Tusk. I'm gonna drop a decoy over here. I believe one of the encounters usually has a Black Tusk right after the Keener Call, but you can spawn a little secret boss that's going to be cleaners. We're gonna get slightly more enemies on that room, and we're gonna get one additional name enemy for this mission. Because of that, I like to do the secret boss. But if you are just starting out, then you can ignore the steps to spawn the secret boss. So before showing you the steps, I'm first gonna be killing all of the enemies in this room. And also I'm gonna be getting the gear crate. There's a yellow box over there, and that's going to open this room over here. So that's gear crate number 9. Now, to spawn the secret boss, we have to destroy 4 mouses with bright eyes. There's the mouse number 1. Mouse number 2 is right on the ceiling. Once you got it, the eye should disappear. That's where you can know you did it right. And we're going to continue with the next room. This room is a little bit tricky. Even though there's only 2 enemy waves, the amount of cover is pretty much none. We have no cover. So we have to pretty much focus on all of the enemies that try to flank us. We can also try to climb off the ladder, that's going to be to our right, but we can get enemies to spawn right in the corner of the second, of the upper floor. They're gonna be spawning from a little secret door as if they're some kind of magician or something. And it's not that fun when you get killed by one of them. So anyways, there's the third mouse with the bright eyes. And we're gonna continue along towards the place where we get the Keener message. There's gear crate number 10, and if we destroy the fourth mouse with bright eyes and interact with the laptop, that's going to spawn the secret boss fight right after Aaron Keener finishes with this scripted scene. So, anyways, the scripted scene is long enough that I'm gonna be destroying some prototype gear that I gotten along the way. For prototypes, of course. Prototype course. There we go. And right after he mentioned about fire or keeping warm or something, I don't know how the line ends, we're gonna get the cleaner ambush from the secret boss fight. There's gonna be one wave of normal enemies that are gonna be spawning towards the right, and one wave of rushers that are gonna be spawning from the left side. And once we kill both waves, we're gonna get one final wave that is gonna be coming from the south with one name, Assault Cleaner, and two rushers. As I said, I like to do this just because I can get an additional name enemy to spawn in this mission. And that's more chances on getting targeted prototype loot, which is what just happened. So yeah, after we kill all the enemies, we can continue along with the mission. There's gonna be an ammo crate over there, but I'm not gonna use it. There's gonna be another name enemy right on top. If we're able to destroy their gas tank on their back, and we don't keep shooting it any further, then the enemy is going to be running right straight to us, and that should give us enough time or enough of a window to kill the name enemy without too much of an issue. But if that's not the case, we can just climb up and kill them right over there. The next enemy wave, as you already saw, spawn on the left. They always spawn on the left, and we can stay over here to deal with all of the enemies. And there you go. We're gonna go climb down, and we're gonna find 3 more gear crates. First one is on this blue crate over here, this blue container crate or container sink. The second one is going to be right over there, and for the third one we're gonna be running right over here, and we're gonna find the gear crate number 13 actually. So yeah, 13 of 15 gear crates. Now for this next encounter, we have 2 positions that we can take. This one is pretty much the backup position in case we get overwhelmed by the enemies, but I like to use another position. I like to climb up these stairs from this little game right over here, and that way we can get a pretty great line of sight with all of the enemies that are gonna be spawning. After we kill 3 enemies, we're gonna get another 2 enemies to spawn from our left flank. And when there's 2 enemies left from this beginning enemy wave, one helicopter is going to spawn with another 3 NPCs. There's always going to be a chunga as part of this initial wave, so just be careful with them. If you're able to kill them quick enough, then we should be able to spawn kill the rest of the Black Tusk that are gonna be spawning. And there we go. Pretty chill. As I said, it's a pretty chill mission. There's a ton of chances to getting prototype gear loot, and I am glad that the rotation pool for this week is not as terrible as last week. So anyways, let's continue with the mission. We're gonna go climb down over here, and we're gonna start reloading our weapon. All of the enemies are gonna be spawning right from that door over there. All of the enemy waves. So we can pretty much stay over here. We have a little piece of cover so that we can avoid all of the damage. And we're gonna be dealing with all of the enemies that are gonna be spawning. There's gonna be one rusher wave that we have to be careful of. They can take a ton of damage. And we can easily kill the last guy without too much of an issue. There we go. Now for the last gear crates, we're gonna run over here. There is gear crate number 14. And once we open this door, we can jump this piece of cover and we can find gear crate number 15. So yeah, 15 gear crates in this mission. Now for the final encounter, just a quick, well, first we're gonna fill out our ammo, and for the amount of enemies that can spawn in this room, they are all gonna be spawning from the north side. So we have to stay on the south side of the room so that we are not, we don't get spawn killed by one of the enemies essentially. So yeah, we can continue along. We're gonna drop a decoy on the north side of the room, and then we're gonna run towards the south side where we're gonna be fighting pretty much all of the enemies. There's a ton of piece of cover that we can change from. I usually like to look behind this giant piece of cover because usually you're gonna get a medic that's going to drop a support station on the ground. So you gotta be careful on destroying that one so that the medic is not able to heal his comrades. There we go. Then an extra enemy wave is going to spawn right on top of the boss from over there. But they're usually all red enemies, so we should be able to kill them pretty easily. Then one additional wave is going to spawn right at the back of the room from the north side, as always. We gotta be careful with this spawn wave because there's usually one turret guy that spawns with them. And it can even be a yellow, so we have to be careful with this yellow turret and the yellow shotgun guy. But I don't believe I got it in this run. But still, it's a possibility, so you gotta be careful. And then once the chunga comes down from that little piece of cover over there, we are also going to get one helicopter. I suggest that you prioritize killing the chunga and then end up killing the last guys that are coming down from the helicopter. They're usually gonna be reds. That way, we should be able to position ourselves in a nice position so that we're able to shoot down Dolores Jones without her even being able to shoot at us. So yeah, she already spawned, already forced her to use her first armor plate, and there we go, she's dead. That's Coney Island Amusement Park, everyone, as I said. Pretty chill mission, 100 kills, and if you do it good enough, you can complete it in 15 to 16 minutes, so it's a wonderful mission to farm, especially LMG targeted loot. That's the thing that's going to improve pretty much all of your escalation builds, so yeah, farm it today. If there's anything decent like Strikers or Sheska, also farm that. And if you're looking for something else, farm that too. This mission is great for farming. So anyways, that's all for me today. If you like the video, you can like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. I read all of your comments, guys. Thank you all for all of your support, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next escalation video. Let's wait for the summary to show up so I can wrap up this real soon. Come on. And there you go. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Bye bye.